Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. We're live and hopefully everything is working perfectly for you. Here we are in the beautiful Mallorca, looking out over the balcony onto Palmanova Bay. That pineapple seller saw me and he says I'm still a wanker. But look, let's talk about the latest Manchester United transfer news. We're talking about Milinkovic-Savic and obviously Paul Pogba as well. There is stories coming out from ESPN today that Paul Pogba will be he's confident that he's going to leave Manchester United to go to Real Madrid. Look, I despair. I mean, I'm glad I'm on holiday because I despair with the situation with Manchester United at the moment and where we might be looking at with regards to transfers. I was here a year ago with a week left of the transfer window and we didn't do any business, and I really did think that we would get some business done this season, but I'm starting to think that maybe we won't get any business done. And look, seriously, I do think that we will do, but time is starting to run out and we do need to start moving. And you know what, it's funny because I was down on that beach behind me this afternoon and I just left my phone off for 4 hours and I turned it back on and there was no news about Manchester United at all. And I thought, you know, that's indicative because that is indicative of the situation at United at the moment. But let's talk about the Milinkovic-Savic thing, because Milinkovic-Savic has been going on for quite a while now, and I think that there's talk of his agent being in London. There's talk of there you go. There's talk of his agent being in London. There's talk of his agent being in London and a deal being finalised, but it doesn't feel like it really is going to be finalised, if you know what I mean. However, ESPN are talking about Paul Pogba and basically saying that he's confident that he will get his move to Real Madrid, which is interesting because we know that there's only about 12 days left with the transfer window for Manchester United to buy players. But actually with Real Madrid, there's over, I think it's August the 31st that their transfer window closes, so 31 days longer than ours. And I'm just concerned, are United going to let Paul Pogba go and then actually not have a replacement? You know, there's a lot of stuff being said today about the Glazers and taking more loans out of the club, but the reality is, I think if we hit August the 8th and we haven't done any deals, then Manchester United are a disgrace, and I think things need to be said by the fans, and I think things will be said. Whether Milinkovic-Savic comes into Manchester United or not, I don't know. I think he is a logical replacement for Paul Pogba and a player that many people won't really know what he's all about. But look, you know, is anyone going to replace Paul Pogba? In some ways, yes, and in some ways, no. I think he's been massively inconsistent in a Manchester United shirt, but when he's been on form, there's no doubting that he's one of the best midfielders in world football. Prem Prodigy says, have you seen the Cola tweet, kit sponsor, about the away kit being an inspiration for a new United kitchen? All the Glazers care about is making money enough. Is this transfer window proofs? I said yesterday, never been to England. Is that Manchester, says Howard Walters. Yeah, so if you look behind me, that's Manchester, and just behind that hotel is Old Trafford. So yeah, if you've never been to England before, we're definitely in Manchester. But seriously, with regards to yesterday, I said that I do concern myself with what Manchester United's owners are doing. I think they are basically bleeding the club dry of all the revenue, because over the last 20 years we've generated lots and lots of money over the success of Sir Alex Ferguson, and I still think there's a legacy of that with Manchester United. But in 10 years' time, if we don't have any more success like we haven't had success, then we will struggle to bring new fans in and generate revenue. And of course, the current fan base is becoming more, with every passing summer, the current fan base is becoming more and more frustrated and concerned with what's going on at Manchester United. So yeah, I'm in Mallorca at the moment, and yes, that's where I am. Flew in today and looking forward to having a good break. But obviously I'll be keeping an eye on what's going. If there's anything to break, we'll go live. The reception's pretty good here, although I must admit the phone I'm using has a tendency to drop out. So tonight's stream is a bit of a what do you call it? A bit of a test as well. If it doesn't work, I'll just go back to the old phone I used last year, which was pretty good. I have a feeling some transfers will go down soon, says William Jacob. Look, I'm still of that view, William. I'm still of that view. But when you look at the actual scenario at the moment, there's still a lot. Why haven't you met the pineapple seller yet, Mark, says Anaban Battershit. I've walked up and down that beach. I can't find the man. I've walked up and down that beach like with I hate fruit from Mallorca on a t-shirt and nothing. They don't want it. They don't want it. But look, in seriousness, with regards to Manchester United transfers and where we're at the moment, I was talking to Flex today, who's flying back from China, and it was like, you know, he said, I can't believe I've been on this tour and we haven't bought anybody into the club. And I said, you know what? I can believe it, Flex. I bloody can believe it, because this is what goes on with Manchester United. We are that football club that we don't want to be. And we are that football club that we want to be by making signings, and we need to make signings, but there is starting to be that feeling amongst fans now. Harshil says, I made a song called De Gea and he stayed. There is starting to be that feeling amongst fans now that we will sell, that we won't buy players and we'll go with what we've got. And look, I love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and I hope he's going to be a successful Manchester United, but I don't love this. I don't need players. I'll be happy with what I've got. Look, with all due respect, Ollie, you're a legend of the club, but you've been managing this team for 6 months. Like, we've been watching this team for the last 6 years. It ain't good enough. It doesn't matter what you think about the youth. It ain't good enough. Even if you've got 5 superstar youngsters coming through, the players you've got there aren't good enough. You needed to have decent players coming in this summer. You needed to be backed by the board, and you haven't been backed by the board as yet. With regards to Bruno Fernandes, a few people are talking about him. Klopp's arm around Bruno the other day was worrying, says Omar Diaz. A lot of people are now saying that Manchester United were never in for Bruno Fernandes. You know, it's backtracking. This is all a green screen, by the way. I'm still in my mum's bedroom. Call me an elitist, but Atletico Madrid should not be doing better transfers than our club. I think, and that was from the veteran trainer 88, and he's right. They've done 10 in and 10 out. And Sergej Daz says, Mark, this is the point I made 10 days ago. No manager can succeed at Manchester United unless the club is bought by some billionaire and the Glazers are kicked out. Look, we should have gone into this transfer window. You know it and I know it. We should have gone into this transfer window and we should have signed well over, you know, we should have bought a right back, a centre back, 2 midfielders and a right winger. And we didn't do it. And whatever happens, I don't think we're going to do that now either. And I think that's pretty disgusting, and I think most people would agree with that. What we've now got to try and do in just over a week is at least get a centre-back and a midfielder in. Who that midfielder is going to be, I feel that Milinkovic-Savic is a replacement for Pogba. Somebody said to me today, we will sign Milinkovic-Savic as a replacement for Pogba and that'll be it. And I'm like, that's a disgrace. That is a disgrace. How can you just replace Paul Pogba with Milinkovic-Savic? We were meant, the plan for the summer was to keep Paul Pogba and also bring 2 midfielders in to replace Fellaini and Herrera. How can you not bring any midfielders in, let Pogba go and bring Milinkovic-Savic in? We're dead food, we're dead, as Ransford said, we're in a lot of trouble. George Ramos, we need to get this in our head. No one is coming to Manchester United. We're all tired of listening to fake transfer news. It's done. The board done their job, says George Ramos. Well look, I made a pledge back at the start of this transfer window that if we didn't make any Sanchez, if we didn't make any nothing happening, all gone quiet except Savic, says Ray Cowley. Please do smash a like on the video, everybody. And is it concerning that Ollie is okay with the centre-back situation, says Sean Byrne. He's not okay with the centre-back situation though, is he? Because he does actually want Harry Maguire. But I did make a pledge back in May that if on August the 8th we haven't made decent signings at Manchester United, then I would make a video on August the 8th going absolutely mad. And I will do that. I promise I will do that, because it's disgusting. It's disgusting not to back this manager. It's disgusting to make all this money and not build a team to even try to infiltrate the dominance of Liverpool and Manchester City. As I said yesterday on the watch along, if McTominay and Pereira and Fred turn out to be a success, great. But it's luck. It's what Ollie's inherited. There's no go and buy your players. There's no backing of Ollie to build a midfield. He's having to do it on Mourinho's signings and whatever youth is coming through. Where's the 200 million to go and get yourself a midfielder, Ollie? You deserve it. It's not. He's having to make do with cast-offs from failed managers of the past and whatever youth he's got. And if he gets lucky with the youth, great. But for the last 20 years, we've not had great youth development. I think he will get a bit lucky, but he needed money this summer, 100%. Where we are with transfers at the moment, I think Harry Maguire, Sergej Daz says we're never going to buy any players. All the money would be spent in mutual funds. Look, I still think we will make signings. Thoughts if Spurs signed Dybala and Lo Celso, says Archie Cake. Look, I thought Spurs, although we beat them the other day, thanks for the contribution, Dean Doherty, although we beat Spurs the other day, I thought that, they played a half a team in the first half and half a team in the second half, and they had Harry Kane and Ndombele and Sissoko and Dele Alli in the first half, and then and Harry Winks, and then they've got Eriksen, Lucas Moura and Son in the second half. They've got quality, and if they add Lo Celso to that and they add Dybala to that, and who knows, they may even add a Bruno Fernandes to that, they're in a very, very strong situation, aren't they? So, but that's, it doesn't surprise me if Spurs spend money, because Pochettino was looking to go, and then lo and behold the club starts spending some money for him. So Saurabh Chowdhury says the difference this time would be that the fans won't turn against Ollie like we did against Moyes, LVG and Jose. The board will get all the hate from the fans. there will be a reaction from the fans, 100% with that. But let's just summarise where we are with Manchester United at the moment as I give you that beautiful background there. Don't fall out my hand, phone. There we go. People were asking for it, so there you go. You can have a little bit. There's the bay as it loops around. That was the beach there behind the hotel. That was where the pineapple cellar was. And then we go all the way around the bay. And there you can see. Lovely stuff, isn't it? But where we are at the moment with Manchester United and transfers, I do think we'll get Harry Maguire over the line, because I think if you were the board of Manchester United, would you sign nobody and leave yourself wide open to the absolute shit you're going to get? Or would you just make one token signing and go, well, I did that, but I didn't get you the midfield? From where we are now, what United should have done was Harry Maguire, Bruno Fernandes, Sean Longstaff. That's what they should have done. What they'll probably do is Harry Maguire and maybe Milinkovic-Savic if Pogba goes. The Pepe talks a load of nonsense. Apparently, Napoli are going to pay £72 million. Where have Napoli got £72 million? I don't know, but Manchester United are not in for Pepe either. So, we're starting up a bit of music over there. Oh. So, look, I know it's Friday night and everyone needs to go and enjoy their weekend, and I think that's important. Do I expect Manchester United to do any business over the weekend? Not really. I would imagine the United side are flying back now or just landed back. They're off to Norway on Tuesday. I think next week we'll start to see a bit of momentum, but I don't expect anything to happen over the weekend, if I'm honest with you. I think the media are lost. I think they're trying to generate stories because Manchester United generates stories, but I think they're lost. I don't think they know what's going on. You've got Italian reports saying that Milinkovic-Savic's agent is in London finalising a deal. You've got other people saying it's a load of crap. You've got Bruno Fernandes is still on, but you've got some people saying it was never on. You've got Harry Maguire is close, but you've got Leicester City saying we're nowhere near. The reality is we've got 12 days left of this transfer window, and we haven't actually signed any of the positions we needed to sign. I think Wan-Bissaka's been a very good signing for United. I think Daniel James has got a lot of potential, but we needed a centre-back, we needed a CDM, we needed a midfielder, and we needed a right winger, and we've got none of those positions, and we are going into this new season with a hope and a prayer. And I love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I love a lot of these players, but we're going into this season with a hope and a prayer. Jin Amarasingh says, do you think we will still sign Longstaff? I think Steve Bruce's comment the other day was pretty interesting, wasn't it? He said, no, I'm not looking to sell him. I don't want to sell him. So I don't know. And I think if we did sign him, we'd have to spend a lot of money on him. As I said, he's only played 9 games for Newcastle, but maybe they know he's going to be worth 50 million next year because they'll play him every game, and they're like, why should we let him go for 25 million? I think it's a hard deal to do. I think United have scouted him well and they've spotted a talent there, but I think Newcastle are like, yeah, you have spotted a talent, but you're gonna have to pay us 30 million for him, and United not. He's only played 9 games, so maybe that won't happen. Ray Cowley not signing anyone, let the kids play and ride out the wave of inconsistency. The trouble with that, Ray, is I do agree with it. Let's just crack on with the season we've got and see what we're doing. But what does that do for us as football fans? We've had 6 years of this, 6 years, and I think that with having 6 years of it, you're like, another year of it, another year of competing with Arsenal. But I do back Ollie and I want Ollie to do well, but I think if there are no signings, I agree, the blame has to be apportioned to Woodward and the board, and that's where the anger needs to be put at. But it's disgusting, isn't it? If they don't make the signings, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should have had £200 million this season. Even if Lukaku and Pogba both stayed, he still should have got £200 million. £200 is about right. Matt Rush says we are so in trouble as it stands. No chance of top 4. Ollie has been mugged off. I think top 4, we could still get top 4. I mean, let's not have a total meltdown. We could still get top 4 because Chelsea have got a new manager, no Hazard, and a transfer ban, and Arsenal are Arsenal. But what I wanted to see from this summer was £200 million spent, centre back, 2 midfielders brought in. Welcome to Naveen Kumar, the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Hotel Hawaii, Mark, are you in? Says Jonathan Reed. Well, I'll give you some detective work there. Well done. So you should have got 200 million. He should have been backed, and he didn't. He didn't get that, and he wasn't backed. And I think it's disgusting, because why has he been given the job? And I was speaking to somebody about this, funnily enough, on the plane today, because he got recognised, and they were like, oh, they wanted to talk about United, which I love to do. And they said, why do you think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has not been given the money in the backing? And I said, in fairness, Mourinho didn't get the money in the backing last year. Mourinho, on paper, Wikipedia page, is one of the best managers in the world, but he didn't get backed last summer. He got about 50 million net to spend. So look, it doesn't matter whether you're an inexperienced manager or an experienced manager. He didn't get backed. But what the scenario I think would have happened if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had come in as interim manager and not done that well, maybe we finished like 7th, and he did okay, but they never wanted to give him the job, and they'd given the job to maybe Solskjaer, to Pochettino or Zidane. Pochettino and Zidane would have said, I'll take the job, but I want 200 million, 300 million, whatever, and United would have had to give it them. So in some ways, look, I'm ecstatic that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the manager, but if he hadn't done so well to get the job, United would have had to go for a proper manager like a Pochettino or a Zidane, and they would have said, I'm only taking the job if you give me this money. So in some ways, we've lost out getting Ole, and I don't mean that because I want Ole, but they have mugged him off a little bit. Anna Paliapantis, I think if we screw up this transfer, then we need to make a big banner of Woodward and Glazers out. No one else to blame. We need to go beyond, and if you guys start it, we will support to bring out. Look, I've spoken to the Glazer out movement, and I've said I don't really want to do anything about it other than make people aware about it. I'm not going to jump on it at the moment because I never wanted the Glazers to be the owners of United. Even when we won the Champions League, I didn't want them to be the owners, but I feel that a lot of the anti-Glazer stuff is because of where we finished in the league last year and the transfers this summer. That's what I think a lot of that movement's about. So I've said to those people involved in it, give it till August the 8th, and that is when I will make my decision on what I want to do personally and whether I want to get vocally behind it. Samuel Henriquez says, Savic, Bruno, Maguire in to save us in the window. There's still time. You can flip it around. There is still time for Manchester United to bring in a Bruno Fernandes, a Harry Maguire, and maybe another midfielder like Milinkovic-Savic. There's still time for us to do that. And you know what? It could be done very easily. Sporting Lisbon, look, however you look at the Bruno Fernandes situation, whether you believe United are in for him or not, I believe we are. The point is, Sporting Lisbon want to sell. If you take it, if you decide that United aren't in for him and it's just Portuguese reports, well, that's Sporting Lisbon trying to sell him to us. So he is available. So that deal could be done. Harry Maguire's available at the right price. That deal could be done. The point is, these deals haven't been done. They can be done. They should be done. They could have been done. If they don't get done, it shows a lack of ambition. Dazo W says, next week, no signing but De Gea contract. Well, Daza, I think you're absolutely right. I'm totally prepared early next week to be doing a reaction video to David De Gea signing a new contract like it's a new signing. Because United have done that with Rashford at the start of July. They've done it with Nicky Butt being announced as, in the job. They did it with Anthony Martial in the January transfer window. Oh, it's like a new signing. But it's bloody not. It's done purposely to put a positive spin on the fact that you haven't done any transfers at the end of the day. That's what that's all about. Alexander Vochnovic says that Milinkovic-Savic is the real deal. He is the real deal. I like Milinkovic-Savic. In fact, he actually won Serie A Midfielder of the Year last year, despite not having as good a season as last season stats-wise with goals and assists. He had a very good season. Please do smash a like on the video, everybody. Let's see if we can get over 1,000 likes. This is probably one of the most picturesque videos I've ever done, so it's got to deserve a like for you, hasn't it? It's absolutely beautiful. Chung Lee says, worst nightmare, Liverpool win the league, City win the Champions League, Arsenal finish 4th. I hate listening to football now. But Chung, we're not going to go anywhere, are we? But going back to Milinkovic-Savic, I think that I would like to see him come to Manchester United, but I do feel if he is coming, and that's a big if he is coming, it's for Paul Pogba. And does that help us? A player coming into this club who's never played in the Premier League before, for Paul Pogba, one of our best performers. I don't know. And that would be shambolic. That would be shambolic. If United know Pogba's going, then why have they not done more business? It would be absolutely shambolic, wouldn't it? But look, Milinkovic-Savic is a good player. The season before last for Lazio, he got a lot of goals, he got a lot of assists. Last season, he didn't get as many goals and assists, but he still had a very good season in a Lazio side. So look, there's a lot of talk, but a lot of people feel that maybe Manchester United are being mentioned because they want a deal. I don't know. Martin says, enjoy your holiday, Mark. I've had a fantastic afternoon this afternoon. I've been in the sea with Seb and the wife and the kids, having a fantastic time, so don't worry about that. But you know what? It's a drug doing the United stand, isn't it? I love doing it, and I did it last year. I did the content on the beach last year, as many people know. So I will still be doing regular content for you throughout the week. Don't worry about that. But I just hope I can deliver some decent transfer news, because at the moment it ain't looking good. Anyway, chuck us some questions. Go on, Mark. Have a great holiday, mates. It's Chris. Could Milinkovic-Savic play with Pogba, says Rochelle Powell? Yes, he could. He absolutely could. And to be honest with you, I would rather Milinkovic-Savic came into the club than nobody. Bruno Fernandes is my number one. You know, it's so interesting because I've been listening to and reading a lot over the last couple of days and looking on Sky Sports and stuff, and everybody says what we say. Bruno Fernandes is such an obvious signing for Manchester United. He would be perfect, and they haven't done the deal, and we don't know why. I don't know, but if we're not getting Bruno Fernandes, I would definitely take Milinkovic-Savic. What I don't want to see is Pogba goes, Milinkovic-Savic comes in, and we don't sign any other midfielder. So yeah, I would take Milinkovic-Savic to play with Pogba. You've got a very powerful midfield then. You've got two very, very, athletic and tall midfielders who've got flair to them. Adding McTominay into that in there as well. What I would say is we desperately need another midfielder. We need two really, but we definitely need another midfielder because McTominay, Pereira, Pogba, Matic, Fred, it ain't good enough. You need somebody else in there, certainly to replace. Yeah, I am in England. That's Birmingham behind me. If Pepe is going to Napoli, surely we can get Lozano, says Omar Khan. Look, I absolutely love Irving Lozano, but we've never really been linked to him. He is a client of Mino Raiola, so maybe that's the reason, but we've never been linked to him, and I think he'd be fantastic for United. I really, really would. Pineapple Salah is behind me. Yeah, he's abseiling his way. Up yours. Mark, Arsenal signed 2 players. Are they good enough? Arsenal have bought 2 players on loan, haven't they? Well, loan to buy, Saliba, buy to loan. So, and the other lad from Real Madrid. It certainly strengthens them. I would say those 2 players. Wan-Bissaka's been a very good signing for United. Welcome to Henry Ellis, the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. And Salford's dog, yeah, that's Salford Docks there. If you look over there, that's Salford Docks. And then you've got the Orwell running in behind that hotel to Old Trafford. They're all Woodward's yachts that he buys instead of buying. Well, they're not yachts really, are they? Boats. But that's what Woodward does with our money. I'm only joking. Probably does though. Brood Mons says that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the favourite to get sacked next season. You see, I've got to say, I've seen a lot of you saying Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to get sacked by Christmas and all this. I've got to be honest with you, I really don't think that will happen. I think that Manchester United owners love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because they know the fans love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So I don't think they'll sack him. I think even if we were in 8th, they wouldn't sack him because they've got a fall guy there. It's